Welcome back to Cradle to Chaos.
Welcome back. How are you, Kels?
I'm good. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, but that's actually not true.
It's not, but does it really count on Tuesdays at dance when
We actually can't speak to each other?
Yeah,
so no.
no. We start to
That's fair.
talk, and then we get pulled in literal opposite directions by
They
our
never want to do the same thing.
daughters. No, they're not interested in hanging out either. Like we are.
Only when
so-
the second we leave, all Lainey
Yeah.
wants to talk about is Millie and Brittany, Millie and Brittany, Millie and Brittany.
That's so funny. And Millie's obsessed with baby Chloe. So
Yeah, that is true.
Millie's
Poor
just like,
Lainey.
Where's baby Chloe? Where's baby Chloe? It's okay. I think the time is coming. Like I think I
you
feel it.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the play date where we get to sit on the couch and drink coffee and just watch
watch Taylor.
and gab. Yeah, is like coming soon, and they'll play Barbies or whatever.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I've had one of those weeks where I just no longer wish to be an adult anymore. Like
I get
everything
that.
is breaking and I don't want to fix it. And I have
Like being
to.
a homeowner.
It's just yes. But so like our freezer, we are in a brand new house. Okay, we've been here 3 years, but that's still like we built it from the ground
We've been
up.
in our house for 3 years.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe 4. It's actually
So,
been 4.
like it was a brand new build, so everything in here is brand new. And our freezer, granted, it was like filled to the brim, which I guess you're not supposed to do with a freezer. But
Well,
what else
is
what
it
are you
for?
I don't right. I'm like, God. So we were cleaning it out and getting rid of the stuff that, you buy and you're like, I'm totally going to use this, and then you don't.
No, never.
Yeah. And now things are defrosting. And I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to work.
No.
And we're talking about the meal plans that we do, and they're frozen. I'm like, did we just spend $200 on meals that we have to throw away? And Adam was researching it, and it sounds like it might just be like there was not enough airflow
Interesting.
because it was so packed. There didn't need to be a lot of airflow.
Oh, gotcha.
But since we like took all that stuff out, like the air has to like go. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a couple days and see, but it is making me a little nervous. Like some things I don't care about, like frozen waffles. Like, do those really go bad?
No,
Like,
it's like-
so like took them out of the freezer this morning. I'm like, they were a little pliable, but they're frozen
Whatever.
waffles, so
It's
they're
a
gonna be okay.
waffle.
But like
Yeah.
meat and stuff, that's different.
Very.
So there's that, and then there's just obviously so much coming up. Adam's birthday is coming up, and Lainey's birthday is coming up, and Chloe's birthday is coming up.
Literally everybody in your family's birthday is this month except for yours.
Yeah,
How does that make you feel?
I feel special.
Oh, because you feel special in September when your birthday
'cause
is.
nobody else's. Although it is my sister-in-law's and her husband's anniversary. They got married on my birthday.
They're getting married on your birthday?
They got married on my birthday.
they got married. Oh,
So
okay.
we do share that day. I
Well,
guess
but like
I
you're
guess
not
it's
celebrating
fine.
their anniversary with them.
No, I sent them a text.
Well, and they probably say happy birthday.
They do every year.
But also Kelsey's birthday is Millie's due date.
That's
Or,
right.
like, Millie was due
Yeah.
on that day, but she came early.
It's good. And
Oh,
then
that's
we
funny.
have some of our neighbors have tested like extraordinarily high for radon gas in their homes. So now I'm panicking. So
my
for those of you who don't know, I've learned a lot about this over the last 2 days because I've heard of it, but apparently to like successfully, if you ever want to sell your house and just for like safety standards, the radon level should never go above 0.4.
0.4.
A couple of our neighbors, and they're not on our street, they're like on the other part of the development, they were getting readings over 30. Like crazy. So I got an at-home kit. This is why all these papers are over here.
Yeah, I see it.
And you have to set this kit in your basement for like 4 days, and then you send it to be tested.
What?
And then if it comes back high, the recommendation is to do mitigation, which is like another $2,000. They have to like,
And you have to get out of your house.
no, not necessarily.
Really?
No, I mean like if it's bad, I mean the damage is done. We've been living here, so.
So like what does like radon gas
So it's
do
a
to you?
natural gas that is just like that the earth creates underground.
Okay.
But if you live in an area that's susceptible to it, there's supposed to be a mitigation where like there's a pipe that will redirect it outside and not in your house. So I don't know what the case is.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but it's just like a cancer causing, which
so
I mean,
sorry.
everything is,
Sure.
but then you just think about it. And then
just one thing you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, especially in a brand new house.
I just have a lot on my mind. And next week,
Yeah.
Chloe's surgery is on Tuesday.
Yeah, baby.
And then the last ENT appointment we took Lainey to, one of her tubes was coming out, so he removed it, which is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But when he looked at her eardrum, he said it looked different. So now she was referred to go see an audiologist.
I cannot roll my eyes harder.
God.
Okay, I think the ENT is a scam, but maybe we'll save that for another episode.
It has done wonders for Lainey. I know you had a different experience, and we'll talk about that at some point. But
well, maybe
I hope you had a better week than I did.
I do want to say with the ENT, maybe get a second opinion. Well, I guess the audiologist will tell you.
Yeah.
Wait, they're afraid she can't hear?
Well, they were asking if we've noticed any changing with her speaking or her hearing, and we were like, no. But then, of course, I have a whole week to like sit here and think about it.
Yeah, and then you're hyperfixated on it.
And I'm like, and I've done really well. I haven't Googled anything because I don't want to.
Because you're busy worrying about radon.
Radon and my freezer. And yeah, planning an Elsa birthday and all that. But I was thinking about it, and she has started to cover her ears a lot. Like they might be a little extra sensitive to like, I don't know if you've noticed it at dance when the music comes on, she covers her ears. And I don't know if it was a day you weren't there, but the teacher asked, she's like, oh, is the music too loud? And I was like, I don't think so. Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm just, do you remember in elementary school when you do hearing tests and there'd be like beeps in each side and you're supposed to raise your hand for, a 3-year-old isn't going to be expected to do that, right?
Yeah, but at the ENT, they did that with them, where they have the little like monkey that does the like symbols and stuff.
Oh, I did not remember that.
You didn't do that with her at the ENT?
I think so. She did she had a test with the audiologist, but she was so little. It was just like.
Did you go in the box with her?
Yeah. No, Adam went with her.
It'll be like that.
Oh, well then maybe since I didn't go in, maybe I just don't know.
Yeah, they'll just do like little
I do remember
noises.
them saying only one of you could come in, and I was like,
yeah,
that's weird because we both want to do that. Okay.
Yeah, and she'll just look to one side or the other, and that's how they'll do like little high pitched.
Okay.
Yeah.
They'll
figure something out.
It's just too much.
What I'm taking away from this is I should be happy that I don't have a basement. The only I'm happy I don't have a basement.
It's not just because of it's just wherever your ground floor is, and then it's your whole house, but you're supposed to test it at the lowest quote unquote livable space in your house.
Oh, so now I'm gonna
finish or unfinished. I don't know. I'll let you know what happens.
Let me know. I hope it's nothing serious.
I don't know.
Man, well, I'm sorry.
It'll just be a money fix. That's all. It's just annoying.
At least a lot of the busyness in your life is like fun stuff. Well, the birthdays.
Yeah.
But the rest.
It's just life stuff.
And it always piles up at once.
It's the unexpected stuff that's annoying. Yeah.
It always happens at once, too. It's not like you can space it out. It's like, no, we're going to actually pile this on top of you until you can't breathe. Sorry.
All good. Tell me something good.
Tell
me something.
I was thinking of In the Shallow. Tell me something, boy.
Oh. You went all Lady Gaga on us.
Yeah. I can tell you my treat.
Yeah, let's do that.
That would be good. Okay. So we go for walks in our neighborhood pretty much every night after dinner, before dinner. And recently Millie's taken to really paying attention to what Bogey's doing. And usually she doesn't really care. She's usually driving in her little car or riding her bike or just walking. And she noticed that he pooped. And so we had to stop obviously to pick it up. And she's like, she pointed, she goes, Bogey potty, Bogey potty. And I was like, yeah, Bogey's going potty. She proceeds then to imitates what he is doing. And I'm going to show you what she did. And you can tell the people.
Okay.
So she goes and she opens her legs.
Straddle wide straddle.
And goes down and just looks at her butt.
She's in a yoga pose looking at her butt.
Yeah, she's literally just head between her legs, just staring at her butt and just playing with her butt and potty, go potty. And in the middle of the sidewalk in our neighborhood.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how you go potty. If you have to go potty, let's go potty at home, trying to get her to stop doing that.
Can you please stop?
Yeah. And then she wants the poop bag.
Oh,
she,
good.
Grabbed the poop bag from Matt's hand and like insisted on walking Bogey, but it was so cute because she's got the poop bag in one hand and Bogey's leash in the other.
God,
and
that's
she's
hilarious.
just walking down the sidewalk, walking her dog. She walked him all the way home.
Oh, she might have a new job soon.
I honestly, it was awesome.
That's amazing.
We just like stepped back and like let it happen. It was kind of great.
Oh my
minus
God.
the whole like straddling the sidewalk,
Right.
yelling potty, potty, potty.
Well, one time when it was
God.
just Lainey, I was outside in our yard picking up, like using the pooper scooper and cleaning up our yard, and Lainey was just running around, and I wasn't like paying much attention to her. She was just like 14 months old, 15 months old, just like living her best life.
Yeah.
And she came over to me to see what I was doing and said, "Here you go." And she had barehanded picked up some poop. And I was like, "Yep, sure, put it in the bag." And we're immediately going inside.
Yeah, because you can't be mad. Like, she helped you, but also that is actually the most like pure, sweetest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You're going to tell that story to her one day.
Yeah.
Gross her out.
I don't think she'll appreciate it as much as I do. But
Oh, that's so funny.
I actually have 2 treats this week.
Oh my gosh.
Which is surprising.
One for each kid?
Granting my week. No, both are Lainey, and one actually happened just tonight, and I'm only telling the story because of you.
Oh, God.
Okay, but the first one,
Wait, can I tell a treat about your daughter?
of course.
I have a
Which
treat
one?
for about Lainey.
Okay.
Lainey thinks that I look like Princess Aurora. Not to brag or
AKA
anything.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, I actually didn't really even know that until very recently.
I never knew Aurora was the name.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She was just always
She's
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she has Sleeping Beauty underwear, and I guess she points and says, "Brittany, it's Brittany."
Yeah, they were brand new, and we opened them one morning, and we were putting it on her, and I was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she said, "Yeah, that's Brittany."
Oh my God. I love her so much. She can have anything she wants for her birthday. She want a pony, a private jet.
No, she
it's
wants.
hers.
Actually, she told me she didn't want anything; that she was all set.
I don't think that's true. But good try. Okay.
All right. So my first treat for Lainey, I think we talked about this during the sleep episode. We've been working very hard on trying to get her to stay in bed. So like, I want it to be like we tuck you in and that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have a couple probably years before that is the case.
Yeah.
So we try to just like reinforce. So we take her right back to bed and say, okay, like you need to stay in bed. And I've tried to like take it a step further and try to give her like a little reward that's more immediate. So I've been saying things like, I'll come back and check on you in a little bit if you stay in bed for X amount of time, like until I get out of the shower or until like just like something that she can
Measurable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's just a little backstory. So the other day she's playing over here. She's got this like playhouse and these baby cribs for her baby dolls. And she's just playing by herself. She's like walking her babies over and laying them down in her crib. And I'm making dinner, and she walks away, and I see her start to walk away. And then she turns around and walks back towards the crib and said, "You need to stay in bed." Shh, it's time for bed. You need to stay in bed.
Oh my God.
And then she would walk away, stop, and turn back and say, "Please stay in bed."
Stop
Oh, it's just so funny how she like will repeat things that we say to her,
That
but
is
like
so cute.
in such a cute way.
That
And then
is so cute.
Tonight it's
Oh
kind of
my
a twofer. I keep forgetting that this is something that she does because we're so used to it now. But every night we say like our bedtime prayer, and it's the like, "Now I lay me down to sleep," blah blah blah. But she thinks it's "Now I lay me down to sleep," and I didn't really grasp it. I thought it was just like her voice, like not totally catching all the words. But when we start talking about other people, she'll say, "Now I Chloe down to sleep." Oh, funny. And then what we've been trying to do, like she'll say that, and then I'll say, "Is there anyone you want to pray for?" And tonight she said Whitney and Millie.
Thank you, Lainey.
I don't know that she totally grasps what that means, but it was so funny. You were the first one out of her mouth. So
I love her so much. She's so freaking cute. Oh my God.
It was
Now
very
I
funny.
Lainey. Like Chloe May.
Yes. Yes. It's just
That
like
is so
her inflections too
cute.
are so funny.
Oh my God. And their little voice. Like, can we just like bottle those little voices?
I know, forever.
They're so cute. The way they pronounce things. Oh,
It's my favorite. I'm like, she used to say Lello for yellow, and now every time she says yellow, it like shatters me a tiny bit.
Like, can you just like revert a little bit?
Yeah, just regress.
Yeah, regress. I guess that's the word I was looking for. Okay, well, tantrums. Okay, you know what? Last night I was thinking, I was like, I really don't. It's going to be hard for me to think of a tantrum.
Okay, I was the same way.
What? What is wrong?
I was the same way, which is also funny. I think I was just too focused on what was going on.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah. Like life is tantrums. Life is giving me tantrums.
Life, period.
Well, I thought that. And then we were doing bedtime last night, and she's just been...
Millie's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, literally. She's like, what, you don't think I have tantrums? Girl, please. And she like, I had my phone, like, I think it was just like on the ground. Like we were like getting books and getting pajamas and whatever. She takes her sippy cup and just starts like banging the shit out of my phone.
Oh no.
And I'm like, girlfriend.
Oh, your phone?
On my phone.
No.
Yeah, just like pounding on my phone. And I'm like, girl, like stop. And I rose my voice. I was like, stop it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like she was already being kind of, I don't know, a terror, like getting into pajamas. Like she just hates changing clothes. I don't know. But yeah, she was already being a 2-year-old. And when she was doing that, so I started like yelling at her, kinda, not like hard, but just like like, what are you doing? Yeah. And she just starts bawling.
Oh,
anytime that like I raise my voice at all, she just starts like crying her eyes out.
Just to make you feel even worse.
I know, exactly. And then exactly. And then I feel terrible because I'm like, oh my God, I'm
traumatizing my child.
I like just yelled, like I don't know. So yeah, and then I had to be like, "What do you want to read books?" Like, and then I like back down. What can I give you? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Oh, do you want to break my phone more? Go for it." It's hard.
It is hard. It's hard in those like little tantrums that like aren't worth your energy. Also, where you're like, "How can I just like immediately remedy this moment?" Yeah, I get that.
And I was just like, let's move on. But I tried to like talk to her. I was like, look at me. We can't hit mommy's phone. That's not nice. We can't hit anything. Like, we don't want to break anything. Like, our things are nice. And I was like, but why did you do that? And she speaks, but it's just gibberish. And she's like, and I'm like, well, yeah, but we can't.
You do the best Millie impression.
Thank you. I've been working on it. But she's trying to like tell me, and I'm just like, I know, but we can't hit.
Yeah, you're like, I totally understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Although I don't.
Right. And then she's like, my phone.
You raise a good point.
I'm like, yeah, mommy's phone. So it's hard.
Well, I have more of a general tantrum. This goes out to my girl Chloe. She has been learning about cause and effect. So she's been doing a lot of dropping things, and then she likes to like throw her whole body to watch to where it goes. So she does it mostly in her high chair because she gets to like look over and see what happens to it. So she loves to do it with her food, which is a normal milestone. Parents out there, when you're getting so mad at your kid for throwing their food at this age, around the 1-year-old point, just stop and be like, oh, they're hitting a milestone. And maybe it'll make you feel better.
What's the milestone?
It's just cause and effect. Then like trying to figure out like
I never thought about
what happens when things drop. But now she's getting to the point where like she really wants to see what happens, but then she's like, but I want that. So she's been doing it with like toys if we give her something, or like her sippy cup. She is like her entire world right now. So she'll like dangle it, and then she'll watch it, and she'll open her hand and it drops, and she like will veer herself over the side of her high chair, and then over and over and over and over again. So it's been fun.
Yeah. I feel like we're still in that phase.
Well, now with Lainey, I'm like, okay, we'll get down and get it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just, she doesn't like scream about it, but
yeah.
All right. So tantrums and treats out of the way.
If anyone's still listening past all of this boring, like,
oh my, speaking of listeners, we have noticed that we've been getting some listeners from some different countries, which is super cool. So cool. Thank you for tuning in from the UK and Germany and Italy and Canada and obviously the US, but we just thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Follow us on socials.
Yes. So today we have kind of a sensitive subject, but just one of those things that I feel like people don't talk about, because once you have your children, it's all about them.
Yep.
So today we're going to talk about how your relationship can alter after you have kids, or just how it looks different post children. So over the last week, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, how long have me and Adam been together? So we've been married almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in July, but together a total of 8 years. So I just remember, we'll talk about this every once in a while, like when we were dating, we used to shut down the bars together.
Yes, that's
like,
a note on mine too.
Like we would literally be out until like 3 and 4 in the morning.
So much drinking.
Oh my God. So much
going
everything.
Out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like looking back, I'm like, I don't remember the last time I saw 11 p.m.
No, I can't. New Year's Eve is a struggle.
Oh, I haven't seen the ball drop in years.
No, same.
I don't even care.
He'll like wake me up.
Yeah. So it is very interesting to see like looking back, like today we are such different people, and it's really interesting to think how difficult it really is to, like, no matter how old you are growing up together. And it makes sense why a lot of relationships kind of fizzle out. And I don't think you can necessarily blame it on the children, but like you just grow, and sometimes you don't necessarily grow together. You have to make a lot of sacrifices and compromises along the way. And it's interesting. Together. It's funny just even to look back at pictures. I'm like, what? Like, heck, first of all, look how skinny I was.
Stop. Also, what was I wearing?
Oh yeah, like what was I doing with my hair?
Do my hair like that? That's what I'm always wondering.
Yeah. So how long have you and Matt been together?
We've been together for 9 years and married for 3.5.
Okay. So time-wise, about the same. A little bit longer, but that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing. I'm like, the activities that we used to do were very different because we didn't have like responsibilities like we do now. And it's like, I think one other thing is like, we were each other's only real, focus at the time, outside of like work and our families. But like every day, like, it was like just me and him.
You're waiting for the phone to ring. You're waiting to get that text.
Yeah. Or like when we first lived together, like, you finish work, you get home, and you hang out because like you're there, you're making dinner together, you're hanging out together. And it almost was like effortless.
You're playing house at that point.
Exactly. And it's fun. Then you're renting, so you don't have to fix all this damn house.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think like it was like almost you were immediately hanging out, or like automatically hanging out all the time and spending all this quality time together. But then as soon as like a kid enters the world, you're no longer like, it just looks different. Like our hanging out is a little bit more chaotic, and we don't really talk as much. And it's not as quality time. Like I honestly think my biggest key like difference that I notice is that we have to make a conscious effort to hang out.
Totally.
Which sounds so silly because we are together so much,
but you're not
hanging out.
Yeah, but you're not like communicating with each other. You're worrying about the kids, and yeah, I totally get that. I think, and this, if you think differently, let me know. But I think the transition to kids is probably a little tougher on guys. Only because most of the time, I think they know a little bit less about what's coming.
For sure.
So and Adam was great. I just think it was very eye-opening to him how little time that he had for himself and for us together. Whereas like I was like, this is what I wanted. Like this is all I ever wanted. And I feel like I almost knew too much just coming from my background. So like, I think I was a little less patient than I probably could have been, because like, what do you mean you don't like, it's a baby. Like, what did you expect?
Oh my God, same girl.
And you're so sleep deprived that you have those like stupid little fights. And I remember like at some point you're just like, I'm so tired. Like just stop talking. It'll be fine. Like we'll figure it out. And yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think some of our biggest fights we've had thus far were like right after we became parents.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it rocks your
why
world.
are you doing it this way? Why are you doing it that way? It's like you really, really like you don't know how the other one's going to be as a parent when you've never done it before.
Yeah.
And you're learning together, and you have like you're learning together, but also you have this screaming little child who you don't know how to take care of.
Yeah.
Like
you don't get sent home an instruction booklet from the hospital. They're just, now you have to keep this thing alive for better or for worse.
Yes. It's so hard, but like, yeah.
I know something people talk about that I have seen people talk about frequently on social media is the roommate phase. You hear people talking about that all the time, and it's always spun in a negative way, but I feel like it's bound to happen.
For sure.
And I think it's okay as long as you don't live there too long.
Yeah.
And you acknowledge that that's happening.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I think it's almost a good transition out of that like panicky, what the hell is happening phase when you first have a kid, because that means you're falling into some sort of a routine.
Say, it means you're comfortable.
Yeah. And you're falling into some sort of a routine with this new life. And it makes sense that more of your energy is going to be directed towards the child.
Right.
So it's only natural to kind of live parallel for a little bit. But I do think that's always spun in a really, really bad way.
I think so too. And like kind of in the same vein, I see people, I guess kind of in the opposite direction, people saying like, me and my husband are always each other's number one. We put the kids second. Like we are always in lockstep, and because our marriage needs to be strong in order for them to have good lives or whatever. And like, I agree with that. However, I just, in my world at least, that's not
It's hard.
realistic. Like,
It's really hard.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like Millie requires so much attention right now because she's so little and she needs us. Like, I don't know that I can say, like, we are each other's first priorities.
Yeah.
And we have to be okay with that for now.
Yeah, I think that is, like, truly how the hierarchy should be. But I think I need to do a better job at that.
Yeah, same.
Because it is true. I think I tend to put a lot more energy towards the kids.
They require immediate energy.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, when they're little tiny newborns, but like, is it necessary for me to listen to every single second that Lainey's saying, mom, 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 mom,
That's
mom?
true.
And then when I ask her what she wants, it's literally
Hey.
she walks away.
Hi.
Like, I can actually kill you right now. Or like every second that they're whining and crying about nothing, like every once in a while, I'm like, we will make an effort to like finish the conversation that we're having without even acknowledging them.
Yeah.
And by them, I mean Lainey.
Yeah.
Which is hard. It is
hard.
really, really hard. But it also teaches them like, hey, you don't interrupt people when they're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not working thus far.
Yeah.
But you go from having every second together, like you were saying, to suddenly having to split that time down the middle. But it's not split down the middle. It's more like 90-10.
Yeah.
At least that's how it was for me. And I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
So this didn't start for us until Lainey was probably, let me think, over 6 months. I'd say somewhere from 6 to 8 months old. We started making it a point to have one date night a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we take turns planning it. So like last month I planned our date night. So this month, Adam, if you're listening, it's your turn to plan our date night. I can't wait to hear what you have planned. So it took me a long time to feel comfortable with the idea of leaving Lainey overnight. Because we had done like things here and there, but like never overnight. And I was like writing them pages of notes and like making sure that she was going to be okay. And Adam's parents are the best and I trust them with every grain of my being, but it's so hard. But it had been, I mean, since we had the baby, and probably we purposely wanted to make sure we had our like last meal, quote unquote, together before we had Lainey. It was probably a month before I was due. So we went probably almost a year without having like a single night to just ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird the first time you do it. You're like, what do we do?
And you just talk about the
who,
kids.
like, who are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you can't leave your house together, if you don't have family in the area,
Yeah.
and you're not comfortable hiring a sitter, totally get it. Have a date night in your house. So you see the 10,000 boxes I have stocked stacked on top of my
always
fridge.
wondered what those were.
So this is what we used to do. We started doing this actually during COVID when everything was shut down. I don't remember what they're called, but they're date night boxes.
Oh.
And you get them, and it's a subscription. So we used to do it.
We used to do that too.
Yeah. You
Back before kids, though, I was like,
oh,
why did I do that? I don't know.
Yeah. So you get them delivered. We got it once a month. And when you open it, you don't know what it is. It just tells you the supplies that you're going to need for the date. So you get the supplies, and then come date night, that's when you open it. So you have no idea what you're doing until like you sit down and do it. So we've done a lot of cool things together. There was one where we made homemade ice cream, and there was a dance lesson, and
that's fun.
just like card games and like reconnect games and things like that. And we really love it. So that's
a good idea.
We obviously haven't done it in a long time because now we opt to leave the house.
Well, good.
We
also could not.
You should take one with you. For real. We're not going to go through all this.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Do it. And then I want to hear all about it.
Yeah. We had one. Yeah. There was painting and
we did string art one time, which was really hard.
Yeah. That does sound hard. We actually recently, we were like, what can we do at night besides just after we put Millie to bed, we just go and watch TV, and it's that's not really quality time.
We literally go to our bed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Or most of the time we're sitting there scrolling on our phones.
Yeah.
And
it's
I'm reading my book. Yeah.
Exactly. So we got one of the big Lego sets. It's
Ooh.
Disney villains, and it's got you put together a book and an apple, and so every night we would do a bag. So there's
cool.
20 different bags or something.
Yeah.
Actually, probably we haven't done it in a while. Probably stopped on bag
eating
5.
your words over here.
But yeah, I know. I'm we need to get back into that. But that was kind of something fun to do. And we would still have the TV on, but I don't know, we still were doing something together and collaborating and working together and talking.
Yeah. So you have to even if it's a date night at home, put it on your calendar. If you have a family calendar, which I feel like most people do, right? Do you have a family calendar? Yeah.
I mean, we just have on our refrigerator.
Oh, okay. We share our
Google
calendar on our phone.
We should probably do that.
We just do the Apple calendar, actually.
Oh, nice.
But just put it on the calendar and then just hold yourselves accountable and do it.
We always try to take advantage of when daycare does parents' night out.
Oh yeah,
so
we've never used that.
Daycare will keep the kids until, I think ours does until 10. Not that I would ever do that. Do you want to hear about the one time I did do date night so far? We went out to dinner, and I was ready to get her at 6:30. It started at 6. So we show up at 7. We went out to dinner, and I was like, okay, cool. I want to see my baby. I haven't seen her all day.
I would go straight to I want to get her home so we can do our routine and get her to bed, and so it's not a headache.
I was kind of in that mode. And the guy, the admin or whatever, was like, what are you doing here so early? I'm like, I don't know, I missed her. And he's like, let's go take a look. Don't let her see you. Let's just go take a look. We'll see how much fun she's having, and then you guys should go out and do something else.
Aww.
And so we went in, we peeked in. She's watching Moana. She's eating pizza.
Having the time of her
just
life.
got her dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, they put them in pajamas. So we went to Kroger next door and went grocery shopping. So maybe I'm not the best
living the dream
advice for this,
That's
but
so
I feel like that also taught me, though. I'm like, okay, it's okay. She's fine.
Well,
it's just hard leaving your kid with. I mean, she's at daycare all day, every day, but it's just hard.
It is. I mean, that's your time. I get it.
Yeah.
You're working on borrowed time all the time, and it kills me sometimes. And we'll get into this in another episode too. But your children, if you are a working mom, spend more hours of their life at daycare than they do with you. And it's, at least you get a part-time, and so they get to spend time with grandma, which is nice.
Next month, though, she's going full-time.
Well, I mean, that's a good age though for her to do that, but regardless, it's still hard. I think I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, how I think this is a little harder for guys when they just they haven't put their toe into this child world yet. All I ever wanted in life, didn't really care about a career, didn't really care about anything, money, you name it, is to be a mom. That's all I ever wanted. And like, I feel like this is my calling. And I have to remind myself that I couldn't have done this without Adam sometimes. Like, it physically is not, I mean, that's not true. It's not physically not possible. There's a couple different routes I could have taken, but
I get it.
Yeah, it's hard because I'm like, this is it for me. Like, I don't really care where I go from here, but and he is not like that. Like he loves his children, of course, and like is so happy to be here, but he is much more like career oriented and
hobbies.
Right. Yes.
That's why men have more hobbies, I feel like, than we do. Or they're okay going golfing for 8 hours on a Sunday and a Saturday and Sunday.
Any day ending in Y.
Yeah. I think, I don't want to say that selfish isn't the right word, but like they're used to taking care of themselves. Whereas I feel like females are a little bit more just like innately like, I don't know, like giving our time to other people or other things. Like, I think maybe that's just a difference between men and women, not throwing shade at men. I just feel like that's like how it is.
Yeah.
Like, we're a little more nurturing.
Yeah. It's just a maternal thing.
Yeah.
I think. And I think not all women have that, and not all, and some men are a bit more maternal also.
Yeah. It just depends.
I think recently I have been letting go a little bit because I've been trying really hard to take care of me. As far as like just health wise, I've been working out like 5 days a week. And that means I'm either going early in the morning before work or in the afternoon after work. So Adam's had to do like a lot of mornings recently totally by himself, and a lot of the pickups and like dinner and all that stuff, which is like the hardest part of the day. Yeah. So I so appreciate that is the thing, but every single time I go to put it on the calendar, I'm like, oh, is he gonna be mad at me? Like,
I do the same thing.
And I'm like,
even
he doesn't
over
care.
Here, I'm always like, oh, is it okay? Like, you have to do bedtime. Like,
like I'm the same way.
We feel like guilty.
Like, please don't hate me.
Can I go to yoga tonight? I think like, we said like it shakes, or it shook our husband's worlds. I think also with that, like us being like more prepared and kind of knowing that we wanted this, and like, I don't know about you. Well, you were you like know a lot about childcare because that was like the industry you were in before having kids. For me, I was watching webinars every night, or like just like Baby List, or like I don't know, those websites, babycenter.com. Like, I was watching videos, I was reading books, like I
had
was
all the
trying to
apps about pregnancy and like everything that's to come.
Yeah, I wanted to learn everything about everything. Yeah, and I would like have to force him to like participate in that kind of stuff with me, and he would every once in a while. But
I remember I bought, or actually a friend of ours bought Adam a book about like what to expect when you're expecting, but like as a dude, dad. Yeah. And he never read it. I'm like,
I got Matt a dad one too, and he never read it either. Yeah.
Okay, it's not just us.
Yeah.
I think you get so wrapped up in the day-to-day routine stuff when you're in the thick of it that you kind of forget to be a couple. Like, you're just like a family unit now. Yeah. And instead of being like a husband and a wife that have 2 kids, you're husband, wife, and kids. Yeah. So we try to make it a point. And sometimes if we've had a really bad morning and the girls are just wild, we might not, but we at least are like, we're going to kiss goodbye every morning. Like, And I know that sounds so silly and probably something that people like are like, oh, you don't kiss goodbye every day. But it's easy to be like, I got to go. I'm going to be late for work. Like, get these girls in the car. I'm out of here. Yeah. So just like taking a breath and just every day.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, just like one thing, you're like, that's a assured thing that's going to happen. But I think like going back to how like we were a little bit more prepared, I think for our relationship, like I started to resent him a little bit when we were going through the newborn woes, just because it was kind of like, well, why don't you know how to do this? Why
totally.
am I the one who always has to do this? Like,
oh yeah, but I'm not a good teacher.
Anything he did though was wrong in my eyes.
Because it's not the way you would do it.
Exactly. Like the way he like burped her. I'm like, you're choking her. And he's like, I'm doing it exactly the way you do it. And I'm like, okay. Or like, why are you changing her like that? Like, I was a psychopath.
Well, you also have so many hormones pumping through your body, and you breastfed from the very beginning, which I think makes it a little bit more difficult. I never did the like solely breastfeeding, and that in and of itself is such a struggle and such a mind game. To add everything on top of it is hard.
Hormones are going wild. I also dealt with some like postpartum depression and anxiety. So like that wasn't helping. But I just think like, I mean, there are sometimes too, like still where I'm just kind of like, man, I kind of feel like I do a little bit more than you. But then I have to think about like, maybe I do with Millie, but he does so much with our house. Like he cleans the crap out of our house. Like he keeps everything tidy, organized, clean. Like, I don't know, like we would not survive without him, like simply put. So it's like I have to remind myself sometimes, like even when I think like I'm in the thick of it with something, like he's doing something. Like we are a partnership. Like we are, it is balanced. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's an argument we've had at least 100 times about how I do everything and you do nothing.
Right.
And that's exactly how it starts every time. And it's always like after a really stressful week and I'm like, you don't help me with anything.
Yep.
And that's not true.
No.
I mean, especially like, I think in the beginning, I think for me, I also don't ask for help.
Me either.
And that's something that
and then you get mad when they don't help, but you never ask.
It goes back to the argument, if you've ever seen The Breakup, where it's, I want you to want to do the dishes. We talk about that all the time. I'm like, I don't want you to ask me what I want. Like, I don't want you to ask me what I want.
I want you to just know.
Yeah, just know. Like, don't ask me what I want for my birthday. Don't ask me what I want for Mother's Day. Don't ask me what I need help with. Just freaking do it.
Every time I said, I just want you to know. And like with the becoming a parent, you don't know.
You don't know.
You
don't know anything.
No.
Yeah. Even if you think you know everything, you know nothing.
And he'll look at me and be like, well, what do I do now? And I'm like, I don't know. We're figuring it out together.
And I think sometimes, I know everybody grows up differently too and has different, like everyone's families look very different at home. And I want to consciously put on a good example for our girls on what a good relationship should look like.
Totally.
And it's really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, especially as they get older.
Totally.
Like, now that the girls are a little bit older, they're understanding what we're saying. Like, I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want to talk to him negatively. Like,
I don't want to talk about him negatively, like ever. And I want them to see two parents that are so in love, and I want them to be so grossed out every time they see us kiss. And like, it's just, you have to make an effort to do that. And then I think eventually as you get out of these like tough phases of children, it'll fall more naturally back into place, but you have to get through this.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's hard.
The thing is like, it's going to look different now, or like in like 4 years than it does now. It's going to look different in 2 years.
And you're going to have different challenges too.
Exactly. Like the different ages that you're dealing with, like partnering a teenage or parenting partners as, you know what I'm trying to say. Parenting teenagers is going to look different than toddlers. Like and your relationship's going to evolve.
You know what I was randomly thinking about the other day?
What?
Is that one day we're going to have 2 teenage girls. And what happens when we get to the point where, like you're having a conversation with one of your kids and they're like, but don't tell dad. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even want to think about it.
Do I break the promise to my kid? Do I keep it from my husband? I guess it depends on what it is and how serious it is.
On the other hand, what if they say, don't tell mom?
Yeah, no, that's not okay. That's actually not an option.
Yeah, it's actually not an option.
This is not a two-way street.
Every hour of every day. Yeah. They really don't have it.
Yeah, that was a random thought I had. I'm like, oh God, I'm not ready for that.
Sometimes I randomly think about like the teenage years, and I've already told my parents that she's coming to live with them.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think she has room for 2 more?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
3 teenage girls under one roof.
Oh my God. What could go wrong?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think the moral of the story is just to hang in there.
Yeah.
And put
make the effort.
Yeah, so I was going to say put in the effort.
Like today we went to Chipotle for lunch just because we were both working from home, and I was like, can we like do a date night? And like date night was just not in the cards for us this week or weekend. So I'm like, well, let's just go out and get lunch.
A day date.
Yeah. Which are hard because we have to go back to work.
Right.
And so it's like we're thinking about work and the
Yeah.
next meetings we have and stuff. So it definitely isn't the same, but it's still time out of the house, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Which sometimes that's all it takes.
100%. It's a good reset.
Yes.
But I will say, when the girls do spend the night at Adam's parents' house, I still wake up at like 6 or 7. I'm like, you ready? You wanna get up?
Yep.
You wanna get up and
You
go?
wanna go get 'em?
Let's go get them. Let's go. And
Yep.
then we're
'Cause
like
you miss
sprinting through the door. And
Yeah.
then they like look at us or like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom used to come over when Millie was like really, really little, and you guys all know she didn't sleep. And she'd come over at like 6 a.m. and like take her from me, and I would go back to sleep for a few hours. But I always wanted to like lay there and like scroll on my phone or watch TV or something. But
it's
like
hard.
she was down there.
Yeah.
I had to go down there. Like I don't know.
It's hard.
Is it just
It's
us?
I think it's just parenting is hard. I think
Yeah.
the conclusion that I'm drawing here from every episode so far is that it's
Parenting
just
is
hard.
We should just end every episode with that. Parenting is hard. You're doing great,
It's not
sweetie.
going to get any easier. So
It gets easier in certain ways, but it gets harder in others.
I think it just evolves.
Yeah, it evolves.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. And you have to evolve together. And I think communication is key.
That's something that we really
Communicate.
struggle with as a couple, because I am an over communicator.
Except when you want something.
Right.
Except when it's something actually important.
Adam, turn your ears off. No, I am like tell me what's wrong. Like, I can tell something's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong.
We
What's
are the
wrong?
same.
What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like,
Yep.
don't say nothing, because if you say nothing, I'm going to be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
If you're mad at me, I don't care. You're actually legally bound to me. Like, just tell me what is going on. And Adam is the type of person where like suddenly he'll like snap, and I can always tell when he's getting to his breaking point. This is going to make Matt laugh, because he'll start to clean the house. And it's not something that Adam is
Maybe
part
that's why
of.
Matt's always cleaning.
It's not something that he does on the reg, and it's like it'll be like it's a quick clean. It's a really fast, like he's breaking a sweat, he's wiping down the counters, and then
Like
he'll be
he
done.
needs to, like, get like
Yeah.
energy out almost.
It's actually happened a couple of days ago, and I'm like, hey,
You good, bro?
Yeah, literally step back. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, I'm just in one of my moods. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I'll be upstairs if you need me.
Yeah. At least he's like acknowledges it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does now.
Yeah.
But
See,
I mean,
I'm always like, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's like, nothing, Brittany. You are reading. See, I read into people like too much. And I'm
Totally.
like, no, you're so mad at me. Like, I did something
what did
wrong.
I do?
What is wrong?
Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
And he's like, literally, Brittany, shut up. Like, you know, I mean, he doesn't tell me that, but like,
now
that's-
I'm mad.
Yeah, now I'm mad that you keep pestering
Yeah.
me.
Adam was the kind of person that would bring something up from like 3 months ago and be like, remember that time? And I'm like, I swear to God,
You're like, you couldn't have brought that
like,
up.
we're not
then.
talking about this anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, no, clearly that was so long ago. We're not, it's over.
Yeah, you had your opportunity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Communication is super important.
Yeah.
But I think I have one more thing. And I can't remember what it's called. I should have written it down. There is a book that I would recommend every.
Fair play?
What?
Fair play?
No.
That's another one.
I think it's
The 5 love languages.
yes, the
Yes,
5 love
yes,
languages.
yes.
I think
Oh,
every
that's
single couple
huge.
that's struggling should read it.
Yep.
Because everybody receives love a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So like Adam is very much a physical touch kind of guy. And I kind of have to go out of my way to like do it, because I'm like just get it done. Like
Yeah,
I'm a little
Yeah.
yeah. Like, and I am very much an acts of service. Like I want people to like help me clean the house, or like bring me home something like, I don't know,
Yeah.
a French fry from McDonald's,
chicken.
like anything. Yeah. Just something like that.
Adam,
And-
cough if you're listening.
I think it is really, really difficult to learn how to give love the way somebody wants to receive
Yeah,
it, and
if
not
it's
the
not
way
your love
you
language.
want to receive it. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's
It's
hard.
really hard.
It is
You have to
very
like
difficult.
retrain your brain.
Yeah.
Because actually we're the opposite. Like of course.
Naturally.
Yeah.
We're either the same or completely different.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, I'm like, okay, I should like, clean this thing or, I don't know.
Yeah. And
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah, that's fair. But I definitely recommend it. I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is a game changer.
And just try, or even if you're not a big reader, there's just like little online quizzes you can take too to kind of figure out what your love language is, and then you share that with your partner, and maybe make it like a challenge for the month.
Yeah. So Fair Play, it's a book. It's also a series, but basically it's all about like learning how to share the mental load, rebalancing your relationship, and transforming your life. So it's kind of like
sharing the mental load. I'm like, how does that work? Can I just like dump things out of my brain? Because I think Adam might actually die if he knew what was inside this noggin.
I think that's too much. Nobody wants that. A game-changing solution for when you have too much to do. So basically it's just like, divvying up responsibilities and things like that.
That's cool.
But I've heard good things about it. I have not read.
Love it.
Okay, do you want to know what next week's topic is?
I do.
Another kind of serious one.
Okay.
But I want to talk about, quote unquote, bouncing back after you have kids.
Okay. So this is kind of an
like,
extension of this episode.
Sort of, but more
like
about
postpartum?
like your postpartum life, like finding yourself, meeting the new you, and like discovering how you've changed and how you stayed the same. Like, I just feel like society puts so much pressure on moms who literally just birthed a baby to go back to quote unquote normal, or to like love every second. Like, well, you just had a baby, you should be so happy. Like, there should be this pink cloud, but it's not. The reality of it is like, I cried every single day. Like, people don't talk about that.
I think also America is broken as far as maternity leave goes.
How much time you get off.
Because the typical paid maternity leave is 0 weeks. It's 0 days. And like in Canada, our neighbors up north, their normal is 1 year to 18 months.
That's insane.
Like, can you imagine?
I can't.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I had a really tough time postpartum with like anxiety and depression, and I'll get into all of it.
I had 2 very different postpartum experiences.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to hear the differences.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in. We can't wait to hear how your relationship changed.
Yeah. And if you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about,
we're keeping a running list, so keep them coming.
Yeah. DM us, whatever.
Follow us on socials. We are on Instagram at Cradle to Chaos. We also have a Facebook group, Cradle to Chaos. And you can listen to us on Spotify or wherever you find your podcasts.
Yes.
Have a great week.
Bye.